Every morning, the moment you wake up, you're given a powerful opportunity. Before your phone lights up, before responsibilities appear, before yesterday's worries return, there is a brief moment of complete stillness. In that quiet space lies something truly valuable. This is the real beginning of your day. You aren't simply picking up where you left off before sleep. You've been given a fresh start, a new chance to choose who you want to be. You decide your attitude, your emotional state, and the energy you'll carry into every experience. Your life isn't created by what's happening around you. It's created by what's happening within you. Wake up feeling peaceful, and the world immediately looks different. Wake up with confidence, and opportunities you once ignored begin to stand out. When your inner world is in harmony, life seems to flow more naturally, almost as if everything is quietly working in your favor. The answers you've been searching for have never existed outside of you. They've always been within. The thoughts you entertain during those first moments after waking are like seeds planted into fertile soil. Those thoughts become emotions. Those emotions influence your actions, and your actions shape the experiences you eventually live. You're not just beginning another day, you're creating it with every thought you choose. Your imagination is not meaningless fantasy. It is one of the greatest creative powers you possess. The images you repeatedly hold in your mind, combined with the feelings you generate, send a clear message to life. And life has an incredible way of responding to that message. So, before you even step out of bed, pause for a moment. Take a slow breath and honestly ask yourself, who do I choose to be today? The answer to that single question influences everything that follows. Before we continue, if you're enjoying this message, consider supporting Neville Lab by liking this video and subscribing. Your support helps us continue sharing these teachings, and it truly means a lot. The most powerful place to begin your morning is with peace. Choose trust, choose balance, choose to feel centered. Instead of rushing into the day, allow yourself to settle into a calm state where your mind is no longer filled with noise or constant pressure. In that silence, you can finally hear your own inner wisdom. Your thoughts stop racing from one worry to another. The need to control every outcome begins to disappear, because deep inside, you know that life is already unfolding in your favor. This isn't blind optimism. It's a quiet confidence that remains steady whether circumstances appear good or bad. You stay rooted in the present instead of being trapped by the past or anxious about the future. That inner trust becomes the foundation for everything you experience throughout the day. Once you reach that state, something remarkable begins to happen. Fear gradually loses its influence over you. Your challenges may still exist, but they no longer control your emotions. Instead of reacting impulsively, you respond with clarity and wisdom. Solutions begin appearing naturally because your mind is no longer clouded by stress or doubt. Your thinking becomes sharper. You notice opportunities that once escaped your attention. New ideas arrive effortlessly, and the right decisions feel surprisingly natural. The constant conflict inside your mind begins to fade away. This is also the moment when your intuition becomes stronger than ever. It doesn't shout. It quietly guides you in the right direction, and you'll find yourself trusting that guidance more each day. You no longer depend on the opinions of others to feel secure, because your confidence comes from within. As your inner state becomes peaceful and stable, your outer world slowly starts reflecting that same energy. The way you speak changes. The way you respond to people changes. The choices you make improve. And naturally, your results begin changing too. Morning is no longer just the beginning of another busy schedule. It becomes a daily practice of aligning yourself with the version of you that creates the life you truly want. Just a few intentional minutes of presence can influence everything that follows. The truth is simple. Every experience begins inside you. Your awareness shapes your beliefs. Your beliefs create your emotions. Your emotions influence your actions. And your actions eventually become the reality you live every single day. The moment you change the first link in the chain, everything that follows begins to change as well. You don't have to control every situation or predict every outcome. When you learn to master your inner state, life naturally starts falling into place. That also means releasing the habit of blaming people, circumstances, or events. You are no longer someone pushed around by whatever happens. You become the person who chooses what everything means, how to respond, and what emotional state to remain in. When your inner balance stays strong, even difficult moments lose the power they once had over you. Instead of seeing only problems, you begin recognizing opportunities. Instead of feeling lost in uncertainty, you start discovering direction where you once saw confusion. The words you repeat to yourself every morning are never meaningless. They are instructions you give to your subconscious mind. When those words are repeated with genuine emotion, they slowly become beliefs. And once something becomes a belief, you no longer struggle to act differently. Your actions begin to reflect that belief naturally, without effort. Imagine each morning as a blank canvas, and your first thoughts as the very first strokes of the brush. Begin the day with fear or worry, and that emotional pattern often follows you. Begin with confidence, gratitude, and trust, and your entire day tends to unfold with greater ease. Those early thoughts are not small or insignificant. They are seeds, and whatever you plant is what you will eventually grow. You don't have to hope today turns out well. You create the foundation for a good day by intentionally choosing your state of mind from the very beginning. Once you truly understand this and practice it consistently, life stops feeling like something that simply happens to you. Instead, it becomes something you consciously shape through every thought, every feeling, and every decision. Morning also gives you a unique biological advantage that many people completely overlook. Right after waking, your brain naturally enters one of its most receptive states. During this time, the barrier between your conscious mind and your subconscious becomes much more open. New thoughts and emotions can sink in with remarkable ease. This isn't just an idea, it's a powerful opportunity. During those first few minutes, your subconscious absorbs whatever you repeatedly focus on. Those thoughts don't disappear a few moments later. They become the emotional foundation that influences how you think, react, interpret situations, and move through the rest of your day. Your nervous system is not simply reacting to life. It's constantly looking for evidence to support whatever you already believe. If you begin the morning feeling anxious, your mind naturally notices situations that seem to confirm those fears. But if you begin with confidence and peace, you'll start recognizing experiences that strengthen those same feelings. The world around you hasn't changed. What has changed is the way you're seeing it. Your mind is always filtering reality through your existing assumptions. It doesn't observe everything equally. It pays attention to what matches your beliefs. Those beliefs determine what you notice, and what you notice strengthens those beliefs even more. Before long, this becomes a repeating cycle that continues automatically unless you choose to interrupt it. Your emotions are powerful as well. They aren't simply reactions to life. They influence how you communicate, the choices you make, the energy you bring into every conversation, and even the opportunities you attract. When you change your emotional state, you also change the way you experience reality. All of this leads to one important realization. Your outer world is deeply connected to your inner world. When you take control of your mornings, you're doing far more than creating a peaceful routine. You're resetting your internal operating system, your thoughts, your emotions, your beliefs, and ultimately the results you create. There's one more truth that's essential to understand. Your life isn't primarily directed by the few positive thoughts you consciously repeat each day. Most of your life is guided by a deeper mental program that has been running for years beneath your awareness. It quietly influences your thinking, your words, your habits, and your decisions without asking for your attention. In fact, the vast majority of your daily behavior comes from this subconscious programming. Your automatic reactions, your choices, and the experiences you consistently create are all reflections of this hidden blueprint. Change that blueprint, and the direction of your life begins to change with it. You can set big goals, promise yourself you'll change, and stay motivated for a while. But if your deepest internal programming never changes, you'll continue returning to the same habits and the same results. This is why so many people work hard, yet still feel stuck. They depend on willpower while ignoring the deeper system that's quietly directing their lives. You may repeat positive affirmations every morning or try to think optimistic thoughts, but if your subconscious is still holding on to fear, lack, or self-doubt, those efforts rarely last. Your default emotional state eventually takes over. It's like a strong current beneath the surface of calm water. You may swim against it for a while, but unless the current changes, it will always pull you back. If anxiety has become your normal state, your mind will continue finding reasons to stay anxious. If you've accepted the belief that you're not enough, you'll unknowingly create experiences that seem to prove it true. Lasting change doesn't begin by forcing yourself to think differently. It begins by transforming the deeper emotional state you've been carrying for years. Real transformation happens when you move beyond words and reach the feelings that shape your everyday life. Once those feelings change, your behavior changes naturally. You don't have to force yourself to become someone new, because a new version of you begins to emerge on its own. The morning gives you the perfect opportunity to make that shift. You're not simply waking up to another day. You're choosing the emotional foundation that will influence everything ahead. From the very first moment you're awake, the state you enter begins shaping the experiences you'll have. It's never the events themselves that decide how you feel. It's the identity and emotional state you bring into those events. Begin your day feeling rushed, and even small tasks can feel overwhelming. Begin with peace, confidence, and clarity, and the very same situations become easier to handle. The circumstances haven't changed. You have. Two people can face the exact same challenge and walk away with completely different experiences because they approached it from different inner states. Once you truly understand this, you stop waiting for life to improve before you feel better. Instead, you choose the state first and allow your experiences to grow from it. Everything begins with your awareness. Whatever you consistently focus on, whatever you believe to be true, and whatever occupies your attention becomes the starting point for the reality you experience. You don't need to control every detail of your day. What matters most is protecting the state you choose to live from. Remain calm, and your judgment becomes clearer. Stay confident, and your actions become stronger. Stay focused, and distractions lose much of their power over you. Every result begins inside before it appears outside. Morning is no longer just another routine you rush through. It becomes a daily practice of intentionally creating the person you want to be. Just a few quiet minutes spent aligning your thoughts, emotions, and energy can completely influence how the rest of your day unfolds. When you consistently apply this principle, life no longer feels random or unpredictable. You begin creating your experience consciously. One thought, one decision, one emotional state at a time. One of the greatest gifts you possess is your imagination. It isn't meant for escaping reality or entertaining fantasy. It is one of the most powerful creative abilities you have. This truth was at the heart of Neville Goddard's teachings, and it's the foundation of everything we share here at Neville Lab. The images you repeatedly hold in your mind slowly become your beliefs. Those beliefs shape your expectations, influence your behavior, and eventually become your everyday experience. Once you learn to use your imagination intentionally, you stop waiting for motivation or inspiration to arrive from the outside. You create the feeling within first, and then allow that inner state to guide your thoughts, actions, and the reality you build. You don't have to wait until you see evidence before you choose to believe. The feeling comes first. When you deliberately step into the emotion of already having what you desire, that feeling begins changing the way you act, the way you speak, and the way you interact with the world around you. Every morning starts with the picture you're holding in your mind. If you wake up carrying stress and heaviness, you'll naturally find more reasons to feel overwhelmed. But when you begin your day with gratitude, you'll start noticing blessings that were always there, but once escaped your attention. Choose confidence, and you'll carry yourself differently. Your words become stronger, your actions become bolder, and opportunities that match that energy begin finding their way into your life. The first thing that changes isn't your circumstances. It's your experience of them. Instead of reacting from old habits and familiar fears, you begin responding as the person you're choosing to become. As your inner response changes, your outer results gradually change as well. Imagination reaches its greatest power when it is combined with genuine emotion. Don't simply picture the life you want, feel it as if it's already yours. When you consistently do this, your subconscious accepts that experience as real. It begins reorganizing your thoughts, behaviors, and decisions to match the reality you've been rehearsing within. You don't have to force life to cooperate. Your only responsibility is to remain faithful to the vision you've chosen until it becomes part of who you are. Once your identity changes, your actions naturally follow. Whether you realize it or not, you're constantly sending out a message. That message isn't created by the words you speak. It's created by the state you consistently live in. The way you feel about yourself, the expectations you hold, your level of peace or tension, all of it influences the energy you bring into every situation. Two people can experience the exact same event and leave with completely different outcomes because each one entered it from a different inner state. Someone living in fear will instinctively search for danger, misunderstand situations, and react impulsively, often creating more reasons to stay afraid. But someone who remains calm sees the same circumstances through a different lens. They think more clearly, respond with greater wisdom, and avoid being controlled by temporary emotions. They recognize possibilities that others overlook, not because reality has changed, but because their perception has. This principle works consistently. The state you carry within shapes the experiences you attract and the way you interpret everything around you. Life isn't rewarding or punishing you, it's reflecting you. Change your inner condition, and your relationships, opportunities, challenges, and daily experiences begin changing alongside it. That's why your morning is so valuable. Before the demands of the day begin pulling your attention in every direction, you have the chance to consciously reset your emotional state. Just a few peaceful minutes spent calming your mind, focusing your thoughts, and reconnecting with the person you choose to be can influence everything that follows. You don't need to wait until life improves before allowing yourself to feel better. The process works the other way around. Change yourself first, and your experience of life begins to transform. You also don't need an endless stream of thoughts to solve every problem. In fact, what you often need is less mental noise and more inner stillness. The mind loves to analyze, predict, worry, and search for control. But constant thinking often hides the very wisdom you're trying to find. The answers you've been searching for aren't buried beneath more thoughts. They're waiting beneath the silence that exists when the mind finally becomes still. When you stop forcing solutions and simply allow yourself to pause, something remarkable happens. The mental noise begins to fade, and a deeper awareness quietly rises to the surface. In that place, there is no struggle, no confusion, and no pressure to figure everything out. There is only clarity. You don't have to create the answer through effort. You simply become quiet enough to recognize it when it naturally appears. Intuition reveals itself only when your mind becomes quiet enough to hear it. It doesn't arrive with noise or excitement. It speaks gently, almost unnoticed, yet its guidance is often incredibly accurate. As you learn to trust that quiet inner voice, you spend less time trapped in overthinking and second-guessing yourself. Instead, you begin recognizing what feels right without needing endless explanations. The practice is surprisingly simple, but it asks for consistency. Spend a few minutes sitting in silence each morning. Don't fight your thoughts or try to force your mind completely blank. Simply observe. When a thought appears, notice it without judging it. When it fades, allow it to leave. There's no need to hold on to it or push it away. At first, this may feel unfamiliar, especially if you're used to constantly staying busy. But if you remain with the practice, you'll begin noticing a quiet shift inside yourself. Even 2 to 5 minutes every morning can open a space that many people never experience, a place where you reconnect with the truest version of yourself, untouched by fear, old conditioning, or automatic reactions. When you begin your day from that place of inner stillness, everything else starts changing naturally. You stop reacting impulsively to every challenge. Pressure no longer controls your decisions because you're acting from intention instead of stress. Many people believe success comes from constantly pushing harder, yet the more force you apply, the more exhausting life often becomes. A far more powerful approach is to remain open, take inspired action, and trust that opportunities will reveal themselves at the right time. Being open doesn't mean becoming passive. It means releasing fear, letting go of constant doubt, and allowing yourself to recognize possibilities that were always there. Rather than resisting every obstacle, you respond with confidence, flexibility, and a clear mind. That shift improves your decisions, strengthens your relationships, and allows life to flow with much greater ease. The way you begin your morning influences everything that follows. Simple affirmations such as, "Today I choose peace," "Today I remain open," or "Today I welcome new opportunities," become incredibly powerful when they're spoken with genuine feeling. Your subconscious responds to emotion far more than words alone. Repeating empty phrases creates very little change, but when your words are supported by real belief, they begin shaping your thinking, your actions, and eventually your habits. Always speak in the present moment. Don't speak as someone hoping to become confident someday. Speak as the person you're choosing to be right now. Tell yourself that you are calm, capable, focused, and confident. After each statement, pause for a moment and truly experience it. Picture yourself handling challenges with ease, making wise decisions, and moving through your day with purpose and confidence. When your emotions and your words are in harmony, your actions naturally begin reflecting that new identity. Real transformation isn't created in a single morning. It's built through small, consistent choices repeated every day. Many people give up because they expect immediate change. But lasting growth happens gradually. Some mornings will feel easier than others, and that's perfectly normal. What matters is your willingness to return to your chosen state again and again. Over time, peace becomes your natural response. Confidence replaces hesitation. Positive habits stop feeling like effort because they become part of who you are. The greatest transformation always begins with identity. Don't wait until you've achieved success before believing in yourself. Choose your identity first. Decide that you are focused, resilient, confident, and disciplined. Once that identity becomes your foundation, your daily choices naturally begin reflecting it. Your beliefs shape your expectations. Your expectations influence your actions. Your actions create your results. When you change the way you see yourself, your habits begin changing almost automatically. Every new morning offers another opportunity to choose the person you want to be. Choose peace instead of stress. Choose faith instead of fear. Choose focus instead of distraction. Choose clarity instead of confusion. Life will always present challenges, but your inner state determines how you meet them. You don't directly create success. You cultivate the mindset that naturally produces it. Stay committed to that mindset day after day, and eventually it becomes your way of being. At that point, success no longer feels like something you're chasing. It becomes the natural expression of the person you've decided to become.